he had cataract surgery.
Yes.
So I've given up thinking he'll go get it.
I'm going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
I have to get it as soon as those taxi cab things come back in.
Oh, yeah,
And,
sure.
No, I am. I don't care if you go with me or not. I'll get a girlfriend or something like that, you know. But that's no big deal. Doesn't bother me. Well, this is the Sunday sermonette part, of which that she is definitely not going to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Excited about, because she had a bad dream last night. A bad dream. And she said, "You've been bullying me and I don't want to do any more of these videos because you're pushing me into stuff I don't want to do." And I said, "I did not know that." And I said, "Can you give me some kind of an idea of what I did in your dream?" And she said, "Well, it was a real bull, wasn't it?"
Oh, it was.
Oh boy, see, I can't relate to things like this. I did not grow up around animals, other than the ones that, you know, are two-legged in the neighborhood. But this one's got to be a pip, and I just can't pass this one up. This is a good one, you know. How do you get to relate to me to be a bull? How do you like my hat, folks? This is what a gift. This hat is so big, I could get one other guy in here in the back of it.
Well, I dreamed that I had got this bull and put it out in the pasture right in back of the old ranch house up in Utah. And I noticed this bull looked a lot bigger and more powerful than the other bulls we'd had, and I was worried about it. And I went back in the house, and pretty soon I heard a disturbance. I was worried about that pasture holding that bull. And I heard a disturbance, went out, and the bull had taken out the biggest post in the fence.
How
Just
big?
knocked it right
How
off.
big was the post?
Well, it was bigger than any of the
Big,
others.
This
and
big around, this big
broke
around.
it off and escaped. And I thought, oh my word, nothing will hold that bull if he can break that post. And then it went around, and the bull started breaking all the windows in the house.
Well, of course, everybody.
The big open front window, he broke it, the bull did, and next thing I knew, the bull was coming down the hall toward my bedroom, or not my bedroom, kind of my apartment, and was going to come in, and well, I was terrified because the bull started assuming, you know, human characteristics.
There we go.
Well, how many times have you seen, and I dreamed, when people take on animalistic qualities,
There you go.
then they become more dangerous.
That's me.
So I came down this morning because I thought, and I think in relationship to ego, people become very bullying, and he's been bullying me a little bit lately, kind of pushing me to do these videos, and
Well, the problem I perceive it to be, and I just love to say that, is that since you decided that there was a bullying person in your background who was getting you off blogging and getting you off you know where, that you don't wanted to blog anymore and you wanted to do blogs.
well, I've always done video blogs to a certain degree.
Well,
But
no,
I
wait a
also
minute.
did the writing ones.
Did you ever do them until you met me?
No, I didn't do video blogs at all till I met him. And he has a tendency, you know, get a little bullying about pushing me. And so I was resisting, and I was saying,
Well, you have what is
because
common.
of ego.
You have
Ego.
chronic fatigue syndrome.
Yes, but ego is what causes you to get in. I feel like that once you had a taste of the camera, if you get carried away.
Did you lick the camera or something like that, or did you tasted the?
Well, I mean, and
I
pretty
always thought
soon
you were a little
you
strange.
want people to look at you day and night. They won't even have time to get anything else done. And because YouTube let us make longer ones, so of course we made longer ones, and that takes a little longer to look at. And I thought, oh my
Longer
word.
ones take longer to look at.
But how much of the public, any kind of public attention can you get with and still not be a hog, or as another animal that you can become a hog, attention hog. There's
I never
movie
had
stars.
a pig as a pet. You, on the other hand,
I had 2 pig pets, but
mhm.
attention
And I'm not one
hog,
of them.
because
Am I-
we've
am I
all
one of
seen
them?
like movie stars. They'll get in the public eye, and good Lord, they'll make a movie every 5 minutes.
Yeah, but
And-
that's because they're making money.
Well, of
it
course.
doesn't last
Look at
forever.
Nicolas Cage.
Hey, Grandma Moses
Look,
here, okay?
well, yeah, but you can wreck your career by doing too many lousy movies like
Well, how about
Nicolas
just doing
Cage
one
did.
lousy movie and putting some money in your pocket, and then we don't have to do this anymore.
Well, wow, we've made all these videos, and so I was just questioning the idea of making too many. I've always had,
Do you ever see advertisements on television? You flip the channel, flip the channel, flip the channel, and there's the same advertisement on every channel. They've got it
Well,
down to
that's
a
over.
science, okay? If
Yeah,
you
but-
don't like one channel, flip to the other, the same advertisement will be on there.
I don't
just watched
care. I hate that.
Jennifer Aniston.
That's why I don't watch TV. I don't listen to radio. You listen to radio, you get a few minutes of the host saying something, and then you got to listen to a whole slew of. And the more popular the radio guy gets, the more he advertises.
God, my ears
I
can't even
hate
hold this
that.
thing up.
I hate that.
You know what this
I
says?
don't like
The
advertising.
cowboy hat.
Yes, that is a real cowboy.
I will say one thing for you.
I bought for you because you didn't have a blue one, and this reminds me of my dad. So
See, that's right.
I like him to wear this hat when he's playing my dad.
Well, I'm going to play your dad right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to play your dad. I have no idea what this man sounded like. But anybody that's got the name of Snarl doesn't sound too nice, does it?
Growl is his
Oh,
name.
I'm sorry, the other ones. I get them all confused, And my favorite name was, Dick. You can't mess with that name. Let's face it. There's nothing you can do with that name.
We had a notable guy up there called Sneak.
Well, there's another one.
And then there was Poison. It's
What's this got to do with a bull dream that sounds like a mythological animal?
oh well.
Mm.
Bully, and but I was just trying to think about ego, how people egos just start growing in leaps and bounds, and but I don't know, I've gone my whole life never feeling like that I got a voice. I've never been able to get my voice out there. I didn't get my plays produced. I didn't get to act in them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to, I'd send off novels and they wouldn't get published. So I just felt like that I didn't get a chance. And why they didn't get published? I didn't think it was
there
because
was rejection
they weren't good.
notices. They said, that's fine, we're going to reject it, but if you come up with anything different or better, send it to us. Isn't that
They
what
didn't
rejection?
even say that. They just sent it back. Bull. I remember one time, one wrote back
I never
and
sent
said,
one in. I don't
"This
know."
is an unbelievable story," and I've taken every bit of it from life. Because I've
Well,
always...
your life is unbelievable.
What?
Listen, I've known you for 6 years. You're the most unbelievable character I've ever met. But I'll tell you one thing, you certainly are interesting, that's for sure. And how did I relate to this bull again? Tell me about that one.
Oh, well, I've already told you. But I thought, well, this guy, he doesn't have the feel for life that this is really the truth that I'm telling him. All I did is change the names. And he's writing back, this is an unbelievable
To
story.
protect the
You're going to
guilty,
have to do
right?
better than...
He changed the names to protect the guilty, all right?
That's right, exactly right. And I didn't even put some of the wildest stuff in it. It's my subject matter just seemed to be, well, what else do you expect? I look at the headlines of the most popular writers, and they're all thriller writers. Everybody's in love with thriller writers. And they're pretty much standard written. There are nothing of any surprises there. Then there's a few women romance writers who are very popular. That they kind of write a combination of romance and thriller.
Well, how do you do that?
They cater to both groups, the thriller audience and the romance audience.
Well, see, that's one of the reasons I don't read that kind of stuff, because to me it's just like pap, like pablum.
Well, it's not real
Just,
life, and that's why I don't like them as well, because they're just concocted, and all of the thriller writers sort of read
Well, I
each
like
other. And
Batman
they
and
write.
Robin. I think they're great. I mean, a little strange. But,
Patterson is one of the most popular. I've got them all, I've read them, but I don't like to write that kind of thing because it's not real life. I like to write about real life and just live it. Live it, then write it. That's always been my motto. Live it and then write it.
I'll have to write that one.
See if you can live it, and if you can live it, it might be worth writing. So, these unbelievable stories that this critic of my works objected to, I would have told him, this is life as I lived it. Went out and lived it, so I'm not making anything up, man. And I think, I think that's the strongest stuff that you can put out there, is what you really lived. And if people can't take how people really live, boy, they're off in fantasy land. They're not even connected. Their reading material is not connected to their real life. And I've always felt that if I could just illuminate, the corners of life a little more by saying, well, you live it, and this is what happens.
Live it and write it. Is that it from now
Yeah,
on?
live it and write it.
Just live it and write it. See, I have lived it, but I have no desire to write it, because the people who I have been involved with in the past know I've been involved in the past. And I am not a writer. I have tried it, and I just, I've done poetry and all kinds of, stuff that I don't think anybody needs to know about. I mean, seriously.
Oh, I think they need to know everything. I go out and live.
But the
an
people that I lived
adventure.
with all know everything, so why would I tell them that?
Because when I go out and live an adventure, I always write it up. And and I study a person, and I write up what they did, like I met this guy up in Utah. Well, he was kind of an unbelievable character.
Yeah,
and he wasn't all
this one's a
good.
pit.
And he was such an interesting character that I got all involved, and I tried to figure out why he was like he was. And I wrote the whole story of everything he did, which was, really quite...
Didn't we do that play?
Yeah, we did, and I put it in a play for him too. I wrote a novel, and then I wrote a play about it, and I had him play the character. See, I
And
take
the
these
sad thing about
people from
the sad
real
thing
life.
about it is, you said you played him just like he was. That scared the crap out of me right there. Am I this
Yeah.
bad? Holy cow. This guy made an outlaw look pretty much fun, you know. I mean,
And I didn't dare put everything in that I found out about him or suspected, because his brother and his dad didn't know all this stuff, and I was afraid that they would be very upset, so I didn't put it in. And this was to do with the bisexual.
Yeah, by the way,
Most dads
I think that your
family
father
don't
would have
know.
probably taken out and slapped him a couple times, you know.
They don't know
Don't be
that
stealing
there's,
gas out of my truck with that toes, boy.
See, I've studied bisexuals all my life because people, you know, we expect people to hide this. So
I
I've
don't hide it.
illuminated, I
I don't
have
hide the fact
done
that I'm not
several
bisexual.
studies of bisexuals because I feel like people need to understand them better. They need to be able to accept them as they are.
That's the way I look at
need to, they shouldn't expect them to lie. Now these bisexuals have become the biggest liars on earth. I mean, you could see them do something and say, oh, there, you did that, and they'd just look you right in the eye and deny it and try to convince you that you hadn't even seen that. That was just, you know, that's because society demands it. They demand that they act this way, or they punish them so severely for coming out with anything that they do it.
Well, let me ask you another question. This bull story, that dream that you had, was this bull bisexual?
Well,
I don't know. I
bisexual.
just was a bull bisexual. I don't know.
Well, it could very well be that this represented quite a few people. He's not a bisexual. I studied him backwards and forwards. You know, I trained to figure him out. But he is a puzzle as to how come he ended up, you know, as talented as he is. That's the big puzzle I have. As intelligent as he is, why he became an alcoholic. Now, alcoholism is another subject that I have explored because it's a big problem. So, alcoholic behavior causes a lot of damage in our society. So, I've studied a lot of alcoholics, tried to figure them out, try to understand what happened.
All right, let me ask you another question. Was this bull drinking at any time?
No, but his behavior represented, and him
I
as
don't know. You know, there
the
are
alcoholic.
certain things that I've learned over a period of years, that there's something called a Jimson weed, you know, and if the
Yeah.
cattle start eating it,
They go local.
it's a loco weed, right? So I
They
don't
really
know.
do
It's-
too. You can't drive them. They just run around that goofy until it wears. But alcoholism reduces people to animalistic behavior. It's true, very true. And so I tried to puzzle why someone, you know, this guy was probably one of the most promising young men that I could even imagine. He was musically talented, very intelligent, good looking. I mean, he had it all. And why he sunk into alcoholism, which he did fairly young because of his marriage. He had a nightmare experience in a marriage and started him on his drinking. You know, I tried to figure him out why, and of course it's a little late now. He's 73 years old, but my theory is I've seen how women approach alcoholics, you know, like studying them like they were
If a woman wants to,
well, so
if
many
a woman wants to study me and she's not drinking, you can
You let
forget
me-
that. The
Well,
fact is
are
that
you kidding? I've studied you for 5 years now,
Yeah,
and I have been drinking.
we have.
But let me tell you,
I just told you about.
I noticed that a
If
lot
a
of
man
women
is dating a woman who doesn't drink, that relationship is not That is destined to be really
Yeah,
bad.
it's not gonna work.
And
Ours
if a
hasn't worked for
teetotaler
5
is
years.
trying, a woman who's drinking, he's going to shape her up? I don't think so.
But if they're both drinking, it'll be disaster.
Well,
It'll be even worse.
I guess that explains my 4 marriages then, right?
Yeah, your problem here.
And all
But
the girlfriends. in
I've
between.
noticed that
I
a
never
lot
met-
of women-
I never met one woman that didn't drink except you.
Who write about alcoholics? They do it dead serious.
I'm glad that I'm
Dead serious. They have no sense of humor
I met
at all.
you when my sex life was over because I don't care.
They act like that drunk is not gonna get to me, you know, and well, he makes me laugh. You see, my theory is let the alcoholic be as powerful as he can be. Don't, you know, if it's your limitations stopping it. You know, I see this guy has a wonderful sense of humor, and he has retained it. Well, I read some of these studies by women who had alcoholic husbands, and if they're dead serious, I'm saying to myself, they're not getting the full flavor. For heaven's sakes, if you can't give the alcoholic his just due, how can you possibly get to him? He's not going to pay attention to you. If you're looking at him like he's a bug,
I don't like the way.
in the last stages of alcoholism.
I thought I was a bull. I was bullying you. Now I'm down an insect. I dropped down from a bull to an insect. Hopefully I'll come back as a dinosaur or something.
I have women friends who could not enjoy this man at all. In fact, they won't even look at these videos because they find him so disgusting.
I find myself disgusting too. So what?
When you let yourself act that way, then there's something to. Oh shit! I just spilled my coffee on my skirt. I'm sorry for the word, but.
Did you just say excrement
yes,
on your
I
skirt?
did. I have to
A
go
little
home.
feces on your skirt. Yes.
But if you despise this alcoholic too much, can't stand anything about him, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with your tolerance. You have to let yourself be beguiled by the alcoholic. Let him show his power.
I'm
Let him
beguiling
always.
you.
Oh yeah, he has beguiled me. And he's sang. He's done all the things that he can do that I've enjoyed.
That's
it's-
true.
it's really
I
quite
tell you, when
a
you're
feat.
73, everything from here on down is shot.
It's quite a feat to enjoy an alcoholic to the max. But if you don't, you're not giving him his just due. You're saying that alcoholism has ruined his personality. It may be you that can't see it. You that can't laugh, that can't enjoy. Enjoy the man as much as possible. And there's women who think this is weak. We're not letting that alcoholic even charm us. Let him charm you. That's part of maybe his power. But he's still an alcoholic, of course, and unfortunately he's still affected.
I have 2 hands,
And
you know.
you know, if you don't feel bad about what it's doing and that you're going to lose him, maybe. But gosh, something could happen to you and you could go before him. So
You say it, but
you might have a weakness.
You say it, but you don't do it. See, that's
Obviously,
the problem.
I've got a weakness. All anybody has to do is look at me and they can see weakness. So
I don't see any weakness. I see.
well,
I
yes,
see,
look, flash,
flash. I see fleshiness.
Flash.
I don't see anything weak about that. I just you are what is commonly known as a little overweight.
A little overweight. So, but you know, my theory is the alcoholic is a challenge to find the strength he's got in spite. Because if you make it worse than it is, shame on you. You're making the alcoholic personality worse. than it is, that is not, to me, that is not really seeing the facts. That is not fair. So, and I've seen women do it. I've seen women make the villain do it, and their own faults or failings, they have overlooked them. They hadn't even acknowledged them. But the alcoholic makes a very good scapegoat. He